Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest I just saw up in Toronto at the Toronto Pro Super Show make his pro debut. It was a much anticipated pro debut and he did not disappoint. This is 24-year-old, just turned 24 I believe, Quinton Eriya. Welcome, Quinton.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, Ron.
When did you turn 24? Just recently?
May 5th, so a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Because you were on Global Muscle Radio about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And good interview. Giles and AJ do a great job. But I wanted a chance, especially after you made your pro debut, to let people know a lot more about you. I want to find out more about you. So let's go back to the beginning, Quint. First,
do it.
So where did you grow up? Where were you raised? And what kind of things were you into as a kid?
I grew up in a city close to Toronto called Markham. So I grew up in Markham, and I grew up playing sports like football, basketball. I was always an athlete growing up. I did a lot of track and field. I was really fast, and yeah, I was just always active.
Okay. Did you start weight training, for sports? Did they have you in the weight room for football and for these other sports, track?
So my dad actually used to lift, and I would go to the YMCA with him. Oh. So when I was about 12 years old, I would start lifting for the first time. And, I started to build muscle. I was just training biceps and shoulders. And I'd go to school and I'd start flexing, and all the kids would be like, ew, gross.
Really?
So, yeah, so I was like, oh, shoot, they don't like that? So then I stopped. And yeah, so I have pictures when I'm really young and my arms are pretty jacked. Yeah. But then I stopped and it just went deflated.
What kind of school was this? I've never heard of kids not being at least a little impressed. I mean, maybe it's different nowadays, because when I was a kid, everybody wanted to be jacked. I grew up with action heroes like Van Damme and Stallone and Arnold. When you went to school, was it by that time, was it not cool to have muscles?
I don't know. I think it just freaks people out. I think they were just intimidated by it because it was just so foreign for them.
I mean, what kind of results were you getting? Really big, really fast?
Yeah, I was just going to the gym once a week doing bicep curls, and in a month you'd be able to see a difference because I was skinny, right? So you see the biceps growing week by week, and it was really freaking them out.
So that was when you were just 12 years old?
Yeah, I was 12. But I was also afraid of stunting my growth, so I'm like, you know what? I'll start up again when I'm 17, 18, and that's what I ended up doing. And
you did wait that long, and I think did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have 3 brothers. 2 of them are close in age.
Yeah.
So my older brother was, in the weight room on and off. I brought my little one to the weight room a couple times, but they're not as passionate about it. But they're the exact same genetics. They go to the gym for a couple weeks, and they're just noticeably bigger.
Does it come from your mom's side, your dad's side, or both?
I think it comes from mainly my dad's side, but my mom's side, her brothers are they're giants, they're really big guys.
Yeah.
So maybe a bit of both, but my mom's Jamaican. Okay. And my dad's Nigerian, so a lot of
oh boy,
a lot of the West Africans, they just have those insane muscle bellies. So yeah, I think that's where a lot of it's from.
It's interesting. The west side of Africa, the people are stocky and muscular, and the east side they're these scrawny bone racks, like Ethiopia and Somalia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Nigeria, that's where you want to be, from Nigeria for sure. That was where Vic Richards was from. Look at him. Woo.
Oh yeah, he's an animal.
So you didn't start up again until you were 17?
Yes, exactly.
Wow. And by that point, had you been wanting to get back? Were you looking at well, I guess by this time there was internet. It wasn't magazines so much, but during that time period, were you thinking about possibly becoming a bodybuilder? When was the first time you remember wanting to be an actual bodybuilder?
It took a while. At first I just wanted I'm I think girls like abs, so I wanted to get some abs, a little bit of cuts on my arms and stuff. But I wasn't interested in being big, and I would watch Pumping Iron. I'm like, damn, man, Arnold is dope. But I'm like, I don't want to get that big. And I'd see bodybuilders at some of the gyms, Adolf Coida?
Yes,
who just won the 212s at
I
Toronto
had never heard of him until this weekend, really? But you can bet I know who he is now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I used to see him around at a local gym when I was like 18, and I would see he was like just a monster. He was huge,
Wow.
and I would see him, and I look over at my friends. I'm like, yo, I never want to get that big.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So it just like as I kept training, like I was training and I just got crazy results, and my friends around me, like everybody would see how fast I was growing, and people would be like, you should compete. So I was like, okay, and I was doing my homework. I didn't even know that natural bodybuilding existed. I didn't want to be a bodybuilder because I didn't want to make certain commitments.
Right.
So one of my friends, his name's Carlo Vontok, like I saw a picture of him at a supplement store, and he was a bodybuilder, but he was small. I seen pictures of like Phil Heath, Kai Green, and I'm like, I see this natural bodybuilder picture, and I'm like, why is he so small? And they're like, oh, he's natural. I'm like, oh shoot. I'm like, they have natural bodybuilding, and the guy at the supplement store was like, yeah. So then I started to do my homework, and I searched for like a local show, and then I think I was 19. Or I just turned 20 when I competed for the first time at the age of, it was like end of 2015.
Okay.
So I only did the juniors then because I thought the adults were like, I thought I wouldn't be able to handle that.
Thought they'd look like Ronnie Coleman. But no, they didn't.
Yeah. So after I did that show, because juniors can't win pro cards.
Right. Well, let's back up. You picked a show. Did you have any idea how to prepare for a contest, how to pose, any of that? Did anybody help you?
I had like my friends, like some of my friends would help me. They give me some tips. I used to watch some guys on YouTube, and they would like just based on what they would say, I'd try different things. I'd try macros, bump up cardio, and I remember my first prep ever, right? Because I did it by myself. It was just so hard to diet. Like, I love food, and it was hard to get myself to not have Nesquik cereal in the morning,
That's good stuff. But did you the gym you went to were there competitors there, or was it were you like the only guy who was into that?
Yeah, so I went to a gym like in the city I was from, Markham. It wasn't a serious gym at all. The few times I would go to the city called Scarborough, that's where Antoine Vaillant, classic physique dude that looked
High top Hamlet.
High top Hamlet, yeah. That's where him and Adolf are from, right?
Okay.
So, like in Scarborough, there was a lot more serious bodybuilders. So I would go there sometimes for that extra motivation, and I made some friends. So I had a couple bodybuilder friends there. And, it was just good. The gyms there were even better. But at my home gym, it was, like, really soft.
So what was the experience of your first contest like? Because most guys they have one or two reactions. They'll do a show, and, well, obviously if you win, you're going to be motivated and you want to do it. But a lot of guys, they'll either say, competing is awesome, I can't wait to do this again, or they'll be like, well, that was interesting, but nah, I don't need to do that again. What was your experience like?
Well, again, like the reason why I did it was because like people kept telling me, oh, like you should do it. And I wanted to challenge myself. So I decided to sign up for it. And I had met a friend, and me and him were pretty competitive with each other at the time. And he said he was going to do that show. And I knew I could beat him. So, so it was like we had a little rivalry heading into the show. And then, so I won. And I remembered, I was like, man, that was good. And I looked at the men's category, and I'm like, and everybody was telling me at the show, they're like, you could have won the overall, but juniors can't, like, they don't go into the overall. So that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, like, maybe I'm pretty good at this. So I decided to qualify in the men's division the next year. Yeah. So I did that, and then I qualified for provincials. And at provincials, I won my class, but I didn't win the overall. And then my next show was nationals, and then I won the overall nationals and got my pro card.
So provincials would be like the Ontario championships?
Yes, exactly, Ontario championships.
Do you guys do it like it's a level 1, level 2, you have levels to it, or how does it go up there?
That's how it was when I was competing, but since that IFBB split happened, it's different now. It's just regional and then pro qualifier. But I think only top 3 at regionals go to the qualifiers, whereas back then it was top 5. They go to provincials, then top 5 provincial goes to nationals.
So I'm basing this off stuff I found on the internet. So please correct me because these things are often inaccurate. But it looks like you turned pro at the CBBF Canadian Natural Championships in 2017. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. It was a day after my birthday, so I think I was 21. I just turned 22.
Does juniors only go to 21?
It's no. At that point, like with the CBF, it was up to 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you did the men's. You entered the men's and won.
So I did both. I did both because I thought I could win both.
Right. It said you were the junior winner and the heavyweight winner.
Yeah.
Wow. And did you get your pro card out of that?
Yeah, I got my pro card at the overall there.
So it also said I go to a website called Muscle Memory, which I got to give a shout out to because I don't donate enough to them like I should. But you went to the IFBB World Amateur Championships that year too?
Yeah, I did.
What country was it that year?
So there was two of them. So one was in Romania for the juniors for under 23, and then the first one was in Spain. So I did Spain first, and I prepped myself for this one. And it was crazy because they sent us the invites for it like 10 weeks in advance. Like from what I knew, I heard and I was looking at their website. So I was under the impression it was in December. Yeah. So then like mid-December, like December 13th or something. But then when they sent the email, it turns out that it was actually like first like weekend of November.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like midsummer. I'm not even ready to start prep. I'm just enjoying myself. And then I get the email like, holy smokes, I'm 10 weeks out from Worlds. Yeah. And so I was still completely natural. And I knew at Worlds that it's not like a natural show.
It's one of those things, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but
yeah,
I don't deal with that federation anymore at all. So I guess it doesn't matter. But, for so many years, they've, because in the U.S. we had a show, it's called Universe now, but it was called Team Universe.
Yeah.
I think the show that you won is basically the Canadian version of that. That was your Team Universe. Because is that how you got to the Worlds, by winning that?
Yeah, because it was weird. They said they wouldn't give us our pro cards until after the whole World's competitions were done. Yeah. So that also placed, even if I hadn't won like the overall, just winning my category, I'd qualify for the Worlds, right? So it was a show. There were two shows that I didn't have to do, but I'm like, okay, the opportunity to compete in Europe, like, so I decided to do it just to see how I looked against like some of the world's best. And I went there.
Spain. You went to the Spain show first?
Yeah, I went to Spain first. And there I competed against Blessing. So, Blessing,
he was
Awadibo.
Was he second place in your division, I think?
He was second, yeah. I was a super heavyweight. Yeah. I was 220.
220? That's not a super heavyweight.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Well, in the U.S., I don't know if the weights are different, but U.S., it's heavyweight goes up to 225 and a quarter, and anything over that is super.
Okay. Well, I guess in this federation, it was like anything over 220. Yeah. But it was in kilograms, but like the conversion was over 220 pounds.
Right.
So,
I think it's like 100 kilos or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I remembered, it was like over 100 kilos. So I was over 100 kilos, and I remember I competed, and like, of course, like I'm there backstage, everybody's just huge, and I'm just like this. I was the youngest bodybuilder at that show.
I'm sure.
Like,
you were 22?
I was
21.
I think I was 22. Yeah, I was 22. Mm. Yeah, so I was the youngest guy there, and I beat two guys, so I was pretty happy about that.
I'm going to guess, and this is not to, again, I don't like throwing people under the bus, but were you probably the only natural super heavyweight competitor on that stage?
Oh man, I was the only natural bodybuilder in that show.
In the whole show, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to make this all about the U.S. and Canada, but the one thing that used to piss me off about the Team Universe is we used to send our best natural guys, our class winners, like Jose Raymond. Jose Raymond went a few times. His brother Tito used to go. Mm-hmm. All these guys that we'd sent were natural, and they'd get there, and they would get their asses handed to them by guys who were juiced out of their skulls. I said,
I know,
Anyway, so you did that. You took 8th place in the supers at that show?
Yeah, 8. Okay. I was 8th out of 10 in the super heavyweights. And then the next week, it was the juniors. So, these guys are closer to my age, but it's same ordeal. Like I was in my category at least, like it was over 75. It was broken into 2 classes this time, just over 75 kilos and under.
Oh wow!
So in the over 75, I was the only guy that was natural, and I placed 4th. I don't know how many competitors, maybe like 10 to 13, but so I placed 4th, and it was huge. Like I was so happy. My family, my mom and my dad came to see that one, and they were so hype. And they went out to Romania. Yeah.
Wow, that's commitment.
My dad came to Spain too.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
a good family.
Yeah, no, they're so supportive, man. They're amazing. Before that one, my dad didn't come to any of my shows in Canada. I just didn't think he had an interest in them, and then I think he felt bad because he wasn't able to make it, and then he's like, you know what, your next show I'm gonna come to like 100%. I'm like, hey Dad, my next show's in Spain. He's like, crap. Oh my God. Yeah. And
why didn't I go to one of the ones in Toronto?
I know, yeah. Wow. So I was glad that, Toronto Pro shows here. It's just in my backyard. So, it's easy for them to come make it out to see me. And they were really happy with the outcome of this past weekend.
So did you go back and the federation, your Canadian Federation gave you pro card after that?
Yeah. So as soon as Worlds was done, we had like this little gala. There was a competition called like the last competition of the year. There was like a gala at the end, and they gave us like all of our awards. And from that point on, we were able to like activate our pro cards. Oh, wow. But I still didn't do it because at that point I still I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to still stay natural. Yeah. I wanted to be a natural pro at the time. And
but I mean, where would you compete? Where do you compete as a natural pro?
Well, the thing is, in the IFBB, but I was thinking, I'm like, could I do classic? But I just didn't that. It took me a while. There's a lot of thoughts going in my head, so it was a big commitment for me to make. Yeah. But I understood that I had potential. So a couple months later,
let me ask you that. I mean, you went to especially when you were on the international scene, you got a lot of eyes on you, people that are experienced. Were you starting to hear that you got this shape and structure? Because that's, size. You can put on size, but you have to have the structure and the shape has to be there first. If those suck, it doesn't matter how much size you put on. So at what point were people starting to tell you that you could really be good at this? You got some awesome potential.
Dude, from my very first show, people were like, dude, you're going to go pro. People were telling me that. But, for me, I try not to let things get to my head. I usually don't. I take things in and I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is just a yes man, or maybe they're right. But, I still need to focus the way that I need to focus to get shit done. But I've been hearing, that I have potential. One day you could be Mr. Olympia. And, it's just, I've been hearing a lot of things, but especially on that international stage when I was in Spain and when I was in Romania, a lot of people were like, holy smokes, dude, you could kill it in a couple of years. So I started to really understand that, I have a future in this, but I still wasn't ready to commit yet. Yeah. So I think it took almost another year. I think that was 2017. Yeah. And then at some point in 2018, halfway through the year, I decided that I was going to make that switch. And I actually wanted to chase open bodybuilding. Okay. I wanted to go right into the open. And right as I made that switch, I met Antoine Vaillant and Dorian. Yeah. So me and Dorian already followed each other on social media. But I never met him in person. So, I was talking to them, and Dorian's like, oh, Antoine, this guy, he's a natural pro. Antoine's like, what? He's like Ronnie Coleman. Yeah. And he's like, because, I'm dressed up, I'm in my clothes, whatever. He's like, show me your Instagram. He looked at my Instagram. He's like, holy shit. He's like, dude, you look good. He's like, you have a lot of potential. So then, later on, I think I went to work out. We met at Fouad Abiad's show. It was right before Toronto Pro last year. And he sent me a message. He's like, man, me and Dorian want to help you. We want to prep you, help you with training and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, dude, I'm like, hell yeah. And so it's been we've been working together for just a year and made some ridiculous changes. So it's
I saw you told Giles and AJ you put on 50 pounds. Your off-season weight used to be 250, and you pushed it up to 300 before you started
yeah,
for this. So
yeah,
that's freaking great. Well, let me ask you this, because
yeah.
when you were natural, I bet nobody believed you were natural. Because
Oh yeah.
people are haters, and people, most people have average genetics or shit genetics,
Yeah.
and they refuse to believe that it's possible that anyone has great genetics.
Yeah.
And they think, no, he's a liar. He's got to be loaded up on drugs. And I say, but you're loaded up on drugs. You look like shit. Why do you think? They don't get it.
Yeah.
They don't get it. So did you get a lot of that, and did it bother you?
Oh man, all the time. Like every time I posted something, I get like a DM like, "You lying fuck, you fake natty," and it's funny because it took me joining the dark side for people to realize, oh shit, this guy was natural.
You know what though? You know what's ridiculous? I try to use that example. I say, look, they say Kai wasn't natural. I say, look at Kai here. I'll put up a picture. This is when he won the Team U, okay? This is 3 years later. He put on like 60 pounds of muscle. Do you think if he had been on stuff then that he would have been able to make that kind of a leap? Same thing.
I know.
Ronnie Coleman turned pro at 5'11", 215.
Yeah.
Okay, and people are like, nah, there's no way he was natural. I'm like, really? Because he was 300 pounds on stage, 10 years later. Anyway,
yeah.
People just can't get it through their heads. It's hard for them because nobody wants to believe that they're not going to ever look the way they want to look. But unfortunately, any sport, not everybody can be an NBA player, everybody can play in the NFL, and not everybody can look like a pro bodybuilder. But unfortunately, 100%. I blame the magazines and people like me sometimes because we push the myth that if you really believe in yourself and you really try hard, take your vitamins and you say your prayers, you'll look like Ronnie Coleman. And anyway. So did you get into arguments with people or you just let it slide?
It used to piss me off towards the beginning because I felt like they were like undermining my hard work and trying to make it seem like at that level, when you're competing naturally and someone accuses you of that, it's like they're calling you cheaters. Right. They're saying you're dishonest. Right. So it was very frustrating. But then I got to a point where I'm like, all right, there's nothing I can do. I can't avoid this. And I was just, I'm like, all right, fuck it. They'd send those messages. I just send them a thumbs up. And
kill them with kindness.
Yeah, and it would drive them nuts.
When people used to like troll me, I would say like Jesus loves you or something. They'd be like,
oh yeah,
just for the hell of it. Not that I'm like super religious, but that's what do you say back to that?
I know it's hard. It's like you can't keep bashing somebody that's being nice.
Yeah. So you turned pro, and last year you started growing. Were you thinking of being a classic physique competitor or an open competitor, or did you even have that in your mind of where you were gonna fit in the pro leagues?
Well, one of the main things that motivated me right before I decided to make that switch is I would look at videos of guys like Kevin Lavroni, Ronnie Coleman, Flex Wheeler, and although they had classic looking physiques at points, they were big boys, and I wanted to be able I'm like, man, I want to have the impact that they have on me on somebody else one day, and also I believed in myself. I believed that I was going to get there. So, for me, I always wanted to do the open. I always wanted to be a big boy. So, I told Dorian, I'm like, I want to hang with these guys, and we got to work.
So what gym? I know he just opened. How long is that gym? I know Dorian and his brother own that place, Pure Muscle and Fitness. So
yeah.
How long has that been open?
Since about mid-April, I believe.
So where were you training before that?
Just at different commercial gyms in the area, Good Life Fitness is a popular one in Canada, and another one Movati.
So there's no big mecca for hardcore body. Well, now I guess Dorian's place probably will be, but there wasn't anything like that prior to that?
Well, there's a couple of gyms, but they're not in our city. We would go to World's Gym. World's Gym is it's a decent gym. It has good equipment and stuff. But there was, we would just some of the Good Life, although it's a commercial gym, some of them would have really good equipment and decently heavy dumbbells. Okay. So we would just go there and do our thing.
Okay. So, yeah, when did you decide, when did you pick the Toronto Pro as the show you were going to make your debut at?
Oh, like as soon as I met Dorian and Antoine,
Mm.
we kind of game planned. We're like, let's bulk, put on some size for next year, and then just try and like put myself out there and just compete in my backyard.
So, was there pressure on you because you have that really pretty shape and the little joints? Was there pressure on you to do classic because people thought you were going to fit so well into that?
Yeah, it started to come like as I started to diet. But at first, like it wasn't really there because I was like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
I didn't look like I had any business in classic, right?
Right,
I was a
right.
big boy at that time. But yeah, like my weight was dropping easy. Like I was dropping weight like very fast, and yeah, like it was a pretty easy prep. And then I was at like 251, and I'm just over 6'1". So the cutoff for classic would have been 240, and I still had a little bit of weight to lose, right? So on paper, it made sense. It looked like it would have been an easy weight cut, but then when we started pushing for it, my body just had other plans.
Hmm.
So yeah, we
Yeah, I
had
know. I
to.
talked to Dorian very briefly. Him and Antoine. I ran
Mhm.
into him right after finals. And
Yeah,
at what point did you guys decide, forget this classic? We're gonna go open.
I think like on the Tuesday leading
Wow.
up into the show. Yeah, yeah. So the crazy thing is like again, like man, I'm so happy with like how everything worked out. I think everything happens for a reason.
Hmm.
But because of the attempt to cut for classic, it was a very last minute thing. It was probably like decided to do it at like 3 weeks out or something. So because of that, I think it kind of took away from my fullness and
Hmm.
like my conditioning was starting to disappear because I was just so flat
Right.
from it. I guess I just have the type of body where like I need to be fed, and as long as I'm eating well, like my weight or the fat starts coming off. But I was starting to get flatter, and my muscles didn't have much of a pop, and it started to look like I was less conditioned.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we Dorian, he's a wizard. He's a wizard, and he figured some stuff out, and he just had me start loading up on carbs from Tuesday and every day. And like I trust him so much. He's an excellent coach, and he's you can tell he's really passionate about bodybuilding just as a person, and he knows his stuff. So he figured everything out, and like I looked as good as I could have given like the circumstances, and I was very, very happy and very impressed with how I looked on stage.
That being said, Dorian told me, he said he would have looked so much better, and next time he is going to look so much better because we tried. If we hadn't tried to pull him down to the classic weight,
Yeah.
next time he's not going to do that, and he's going to be gradually just dial in for the show. And like, what'd you end up weighing for the Toronto?
I think right before I got on stage, maybe around like 256 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need to be a lot heavier, but you'll probably have, I'm guessing, like more fullness and pop next time because
Yeah.
you won't be trying to suck down to a classic weight.
Yeah. So I think I'll be sharper, and I'm going to work on my posing even more. I spoke to one of the judges, so they told me there's something I could have worked on. So I'm already working on it, and I think that we're going to do Vancouver Pro next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's what,
yeah, and
six weeks away?
yeah, 6 weeks,
Okay.
6 weeks.
Should
So
be decent.
Dorian told me last weekend, he's like, even before Toronto, he's like, you're going to be about 80% at this show.
Mm.
So we should do another one. I'm like, all right, let's do it. He's like, we're going to bring you in bigger, sharper, better for Vancouver. So I'm really excited for that. I think I'm going to have a better package, and I'm going into Vancouver to win.
Right on. So
Yeah.
tell me about the experience of being on the pro stage for the first time because it must have been pretty intense.
Man, like, of course, Dorian is an expert, like, when it comes to bodybuilding, and he, like, I've understood from knowing him and from things he says, from what ends up happening, he does know what's best, and he would say things to be like, yeah, you'll place, he'd say it so calmly, like, yeah, you'll place, like, top 5 in the open, and, for me, that was, like, huge, like, top 5 in the open, like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like, that's hard, like, so I didn't know, like, I wasn't banking on it, and when I was like at the athletes meeting, I would see how big some of these guys are, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. And I saw some of the pictures of these guys a couple days out, leading into the show, and these guys were sharp. So the thing about me and my physique is like, I'm a taller guy.
Right.
So I guess when I post my pictures, like, I have a pretty physique, but like I'm not like massive. So a lot of people had that impression that I just wasn't big, and I'd get on stage and they would outsize me.
Right.
But when I look back at the stage shots, like I looked pretty fucking big there. So
it's you hear that bodybuilding is an illusion. It's so true.
Yeah.
When you have round muscle bellies and small joints, I've seen a million guys who are like 250, 270 on stage, and it's not impressive because they got big clunky joints like a caveman and big thick waists, and it's not there's nothing that really impresses you about them. But somebody like yourself, because you could be 250, 255 and look twice their size because you have that shape and that flow to the muscles. But yeah, I mean, did you believe you were going to be top 5? Because you got first call out. You must have right there. You should have known.
Well, see, the thing at first, the first call was like 4 guys. It was John, Josh Wade, Ian, and Hollingshead, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So then they called me like in the second lineup. So I was like, I wanted the first call out, but I didn't know how I looked against everybody at first, right? Because I'm still on stage. I didn't see anything yet. But I just remembered during the second call out, they switched me to the middle, right? And I was just so hyped. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
I was pumped, yeah. And I just posed as hard as I could.
And it proved that the first call out doesn't automatically mean that's the top 4 or top 5. Because in this case, it was not.
Yeah.
Because you were 4th. Was that guy Joe? Was he in your class too?
Yeah, Joe came 4th.
Yeah, this is a guy that I never heard of him before. I mean, they kept saying his name, and I didn't even know what to write. I just kept writing Joe in my play-by-play. I don't know who the hell this guy is.
Yeah.
But I mean, the judges do a good job. They'll look at these guys and they try to be as fair as possible. They must have seen, well, you and Joe, you should be up there, and couple of these other guys who we thought looked really good compared to they did the right thing. But I noticed at that show there's so much support for the Ontario people. Does it make a difference for you when you have that kind of support out in the crowd?
I mean, yeah, it was amazing. But I also competed. Like when I competed in Spain, of course, it was a little different because when I competed in Spain, I already knew that I was at a disadvantage, and I wasn't gonna I knew that it wasn't that kind of show, but I still did my thing and I felt good. So for me, it doesn't matter if I have people cheering for me or not, because it's loud in there. Like all I can hear, my coach was in the front, and like he'd be yelling legs, or blow it out. So that's all I could hear. So like in terms of people rooting for me, I wasn't really hearing like too much. So
somebody had a cowbell too.
Oh, I think I heard that.
Yeah,
actually.
Ciccarello kept referencing it. It's like more cowbells. I think they were around me because I could hear it going like right by my ear.
It's very interesting.
So what kind of feedback did you get from judges, from other people after the show, after you got 5th?
One of the judges approached me. His name's Bill. Yeah. He said that I just needed to flex, to hold my lats better in some of my back poses. He said in the front pose, I'm fine. I think in some of the back poses. So, I'm going to get to work. And I've been practicing a little bit, but I'm going to start posing with one of my boys, High Top Hamlet.
Oh, yeah.
He's a really good poser. And he has a good eye. So we're going to get to work ASAP. And he also said I could have been sharper. He said he had me or one of the judges told me that they had me ahead. But, again, I'm happy with my placing. And I know that because I wasn't 100%, I still loved how I looked and the outcome of everything. But I'm just excited to bring something even better from Vancouver.
Good. Now, Antoine was supposed to be up there with you.
Yeah.
But, as we all know, he tore. I forget. Did he tear it in the gym?
Yeah, he tore it in the gym.
Were you there when that happened?
Oh yeah, I was there, man. It was tragic.
Oh, geez. So what happened? Describe that scene for me, because Antoine probably made a video about it, but I'm behind on my Antoine videos. So,
oh yeah.
So what was going on that day?
So we were training back, and This was like, I think a couple days after my birthday, like maybe like May 7th or something. May 6th. May 6th is the day after my birthday.
Okay.
So we were doing deadlifts, right? Or we were supposed to do deadlifts to finish off our workout. And the gym, like, they still have some stuff coming in. So there's some heavy metal stuff, and it was in the way of the deadlift platform. So he just wanted to move it. And I believe Dorian warned him and said, don't bother. It's like really heavy. But he tried to like shimmy it, and just, you know, he screamed and he held his arm, and, you know, we were just praying that, you know, that he cut himself or something. We just really didn't want it to be a tear, but, you know, it happened. But, you know, he's in high spirits. He's still training. He's looking huge as heck. And if there's anybody I know that's gonna bounce back from something like that, it's gonna be Antoine.
I mean,
yeah,
look at what he's bounced back from already. You know, with his
all
those situations.
Yeah.
You know, was it kind of? I know it bummed you out because you're his friend and you trained with him, but were you also bummed that you didn't get to share the stage with him?
Yeah, man. I was telling him this year. Like, I was telling him, like, dude, this is your Olympia year. You're going to the Olympia. You know, like, nothing, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I thought he could have won Toronto. I thought he could have, like, when I looked at the New York lineup, I think he could have done, like, really well. Could have maybe won New York. Like, I think he was just, like, he looked really good at Toronto last year, but this was a new version of Antoine. So, man,
everybody's been seeing the pictures, and wow.
Yeah, man.
Crazy improvements. Crazy.
Yeah, dude, it would have been insane. He was so dry. He was like, man, he could have walked into a show like 5 weeks out. Like, that's how ahead of schedule he was. So, you know, it was really like sad. It was a sad moment. Of course, I wanted to share the stage with him, and but yeah, I just wanted to see him shine, man, because like he deserved it. But, you know, I guess I'm just gonna have to wait longer to see that.
Well, you know, by that point, maybe you'll be at the same or closer to a level where you'll still be good friends, but, you know, up on stage, there's only one winner, so you're both going to try to win.
Yeah. So the thing is, Dorian, he, like, by next year, like, when I keep improving, like, we probably won't be planning the same shows because we're going to be trying to win like different pro shows, right? Yeah. We both want to get to Olympia, so now, you know, we might not be able to share the Toronto Pro stage.
So when you think about the improvements that you want to make, is it just overall size, or are there very specific parts of your physique that you want to improve on?
I think overall size, but I think my back is when I looked at the comparison pictures, like, I knew like my back was not like, it was the smallest back I saw in the pictures. But so I know it's just something that I just gotta get to work. I just gotta keep at it, and I really need to improve that. But I think everything else needs to come up too, right? Like, you can never be too good. So,
yeah, but I mean, you know, look at it this way: you just turned 24 years old.
Yeah.
You know, most of the guys on that stage were 10 to 15 years older than you that you were up there with. You know, you're new to the. I like calling it the dark side too. You're new to the dark side. You're going to be a whole different animal next year. It's going to be.
Yeah.
You know. Speaking of which, your Instagram, Quint Beastwood. That is the coolest name. Where did you get that?
Thank you. Well, you know, I don't know. I just like, I don't know. It just kind of seemed cool to me. You know, of course, you know who Clint Eastwood is. Yeah. So it was between the name Vin Diesel and Clint Eastwood. It was either going to be Quinn Diesel or Quint Eastwood. So I'm like, you know what? Like, let's just do this. And a lot of people ended up thinking that's my last name. I'm
glad you didn't use Diesel, because there's like thousands of guys on Instagram with their name and then Diesel. I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah, I know. There's tons.
Too many Diesels. Quint Beastwood. Yeah, I want to make sure everyone knows. That's where you follow this guy, at Quint Beastwood. What other plans? Do you have a sponsor yet?
No, I have a food sponsor locally, Prep Shop. Yeah. Also, like, for like my suits, like for my posing trunks, I have a sponsor here. But I don't have any like supplement sponsor, no clothing sponsor. So I'm a free agent. Okay, supplement companies. This guy is marketable. This guy's got a physique that will sell your protein powders and pre-workouts. So get on top of that, guys. Yeah. So what's the next 6 weeks going to look for you? Because you just prepped, and it was a rough couple of weeks because you didn't, you know, you had another division in mind, and now that you're not thinking about classic anymore, what are the next few weeks going to look like? Is it going to be a little more relaxed? Oh man, it's gonna be like hard training.
I
Just
shouldn't
one.
say relaxed. That was the
Yeah.
wrong
Oh
word.
yeah.
Wrong word.
No. Well, I mean, like, I think with the way things switched up in the last 2 weeks, like, my body, like, I had a good momentum before. I had like a nice homeostasis, and it just kind of like shifted. So that kind of like messed me up a bit. So yeah, I will feel a lot more relaxed going into this because it's going to be more of like just, it's going to be more of like one way the whole way through. So I think that mentally I'll be in a better place. And I think that's going to, in turn, like it's just going to bring a lot more out of my physique.
So I'm interviewing Dorian later today. It's going to probably post the day after your interview.
Yeah.
But what's he like as a coach? Because you probably could have had your choice of a few different people to work with. What's the best part? What's his style like as a coach, and how does it work well with your personality and everything?
Well, the thing is, like, for me, I'm a very particular person. Like, I'm very like specific, and he's even more particular, right? So it works, and he. I've worked with different coaches before, and of course, a lot of good coaches have different things to different like values, right?
Yeah.
And different. A lot of coaches are smart, but I found that the ones that I've worked with in the past, personally, I just didn't like them too much. They were like dicks.
Just you don't have to name names, but were these any names that we would know?
No big names.
Oh, okay.
But just like would behave very, very condescending, and Dorian is like it's just, you could tell he's very passionate about bodybuilding. He's a sweet person. He's a very nice person. He's a very like he's just a really good person. So I just
does he
really.
And another thing that you probably didn't throw these guys under the bus for is I bet you worked with guys that like you couldn't hear back from them. Did you have that issue with some coaches? You text them and they wouldn't get back to you for like a day or two?
No, I didn't have that. But I've heard of that.
Oh, I've heard of that.
I've heard of it, but like for me personally, like I've never had I've always followed plans pretty easily, so I've never really been a high maintenance client. So I never really, even if a coach took like a day to get back to me for something, it would never really be urgent.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Dorian, he gets back in a timely fashion. Like we live close by, like I live very close to him, so and I see him every day because we train together, right? So yeah, so I always get like it's very fast.
So people like to know about these kind of things. How would you describe your training style?
My training style, it just go like nice warm-ups, really engaging and activating the muscles. The last set is just like an all-out set. Go crazy, lift heavy, and get like a bare minimum 6 to 8 reps, nothing lower than 6. And just move on and just keep getting blood in the muscles. But the idea is like 2 warm-ups. But the warm-ups are like working sets, and then the last one is like a really hard set, and that's like where I feel like most of the growth comes from. And when I have like Dorian or some of the other guys at the gym like with me, like they just help me get those extra few reps towards the end, and I think those reps are very important to the progress.
So were you training with Antoine, or you just at the gym at the same time?
We would train together sometimes, but he trains mainly with one of our friends, Cody, and I would train with Dorian and his brother Noah.
Okay. How about your dieting style? Is it high carb, low carb?
I think moderate carb. I think it's not that low. Again, when I was pushing for classic, it was a lot lower, but like right now, it's just moderate protein, like nothing crazy. Moderate carbs. It's very, very simple.
Well, for a guy who's like 256 on stage, how many carbs are you taking in like the last few weeks?
Well, I actually don't. I don't do the conversion to see how much carbs that I'm taking in, because for me, like I'm very particular, and like if I know the numbers, for some reason it freaks me out. So I just
that's all the carbs I get.
So I just try and simplify it. I just try and simplify it as much as I can. So I just don't really pay attention to it. I just get the plan, and I measure the rice and I eat it.
Okay, now here's where you might make some enemies if you don't do cardio. Do you do cardio for your prep, and how much?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I do
okay. You're
cardio.
safe.
Okay.
People
No,
get so
man. Yeah,
mad.
I do cardio. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't do a crazy amount. I think I don't think my body needs to do too much cardio, and when I do too much cardio, it takes away from my energy
Mm.
with training. So about like 25 to 30 minutes,
Okay.
5 6 days a week, and I'm pretty good.
I mean, your conditioning was pretty good. Yeah, it could be better.
Yeah,
Almost every time, condition can be better. There's only
yeah,
I only you only ever see a couple guys in any lineup where you're like, wow, that guy nailed it. Where you're like,
yeah,
holy crap, that
yeah.
guy's inside out shredded. But
Like Josh Wade.
yeah, I mean, Josh's conditions was probably the best up there.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, he was sharp as nails.
He's also got some years on you and he's got the muscle maturity and that density that
Yeah.
that's a look you're going to be getting in the coming years. I have no doubt.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, you're just I'm not going to say baby. That sounds like condescending, but you're so young in the sport. So young
Yeah,
in the sport in so many ways. This is really the tip of the iceberg. We're just glimpsing the very surface of your potential.
yeah,
So that's exciting because, we have guys that are leaving the sport. There's a lot of guys like, they're in their 40s. I mean, how much longer are they going to keep doing this, for God's sake?
yeah,
So it's good that we have guys in the 20s, early to mid 20s like yourself that have great potential, and we're going to see you get better and better as the years go by.
oh yeah, for sure.
That's what makes the sport exciting.
Yeah,
So let's see what else. What else we want to talk about? So yeah, you got 6 weeks now left. Um, I assume your goal is to win, of course.
yeah.
If you qualified for the Olympia, would you do it this year?
Oh heavens, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I heard. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the time that I need to make improvements for next year, like the more time, the better.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to do Toronto Pro Show again next year and win it. But man, I heard this year's Dexter Jackson's last year, right?
It would
So
have to be. I mean, God, he's going to be 50.
yeah, it's 50. So I think he's going to retire at 50. So if I could compete with him, like just once, share a stage with Dexter Jackson, like that would be like an amazing moment. But also, there's so many like amazing competitors that I want to be able to compete against.
You might be
But,
sharing a stage with Phil Heath.
yeah, because we don't know if he's doing this one yet, right?
Oh God, I hope he does. Please, Phil,
Yeah.
please.
I mean, it would be crazy. Of course, at the Olympia, like I know that
Kai Green too. Come on, Kai. Please,
dude,
Kai.
man, I would hope, but yeah, like we'll see what happens. But it would be amazing to be able to brace that stage in my rookie season.
Yeah. Before we go, any people other than Dorian, any friends, family that were really a part of your team that you want to give credit to and say thanks for everything they did during this prep?
Like, uh,
Did anybody cook your food for you? Or did you have to do that? Oh, you have the meal prep company.
the meal prep, yeah.
What's their name?
They're called Prep Shop. They're in Markham.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess like directly, like that affected my prep.
Yeah.
The Antoine Vaillant. Because they would push me. They would tell me stuff. Cody, Amy. They would, they're always encouraging me. Even Frank McGrath. He's been very positive and he's been encouraging me a lot leading into the shows. Got a friend. Andrew Melling. Like all the guys here have been just very supportive, and they really believed in me. So they played like a huge role in this. And also High Top Hamlet. He was suffering most of this prep. So I would get phone calls from him like every couple of days. We'd be in our group chat talking, and he would be like just he'd be so different, but it would, we'd always chop it up. We'd always have phone conversations, see how we're doing and stuff, and he'd always check up on me. Yeah. So that was dope.
I think I'm going to get him on this show eventually, probably pretty soon. But I want to give a shout out to him because I had him winning Classic.
I had him winning too, man.
I was very impressed. But,
yeah, he was dope. Yeah, so I mean, it happens, right? It happens,
I
but
mean, the other guy, the Korean guy, was really good too. Obviously, he
he
won.
was.
But if you want to talk balance, I don't, especially me. I hate to say anybody's legs are too big because that's like all I got is big legs. But that guy's legs were just ridiculous. It kind of threw away. It took away from the balance.
Yeah, the balance wasn't there, but he had an amazing physique. He had great wheels. But yeah, like again, of course, I guess on paper I am biased because that's like my dude.
Yeah.
But man,
I had no bias and I had him winning. So
yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure most people had him winning. You know, because when you talk about a classic physique and classical posing, like he embodies that, and he did man, I got goosebumps watching him on the live stream because I couldn't watch him live during the prejudging because I had to carb up and I had to get ready to get on stage that night. But man, I'm like, holy shit! I looked at everybody in the lineup. I'm like, my dude is gonna win this show. Like, no way around it. So
he's gonna help you with your posing, right?
Yeah, he's gonna help. Like,
good,
I'm gonna go to him.
He's got his posing nailed. He's
good.
He's good.
He's solid. Yeah.
I mean, I find that a lot of the classic guys, they spend a lot more time and effort with especially with the transitions, because most bodybuilders, they only focus on the poses and they don't even think about the transitions.
Yeah.
These classic guys, they'll throw out the hand and do all the cool stuff.
Yeah, all the cool. Yeah.
Now, I know it's been mentioned. I got to throw this in there because it's just a news item. You were the one that gave Antoine the idea for the board short posing thing.
Yeah, I did.
Now, Antoine got a lot of heat from that, especially from Jeremy. Did you ever get anybody blasting you for giving him the idea?
No.
Scot-free, awesome.
Got away with it smooth, man. Smooth criminal.
Come on. Have a sense of humor, guys. Come on. Guess posing's not that exciting. Anything that can liven it up, I think, go for it. You know?
Yeah, it was really funny. Like, I used to just joke around and be like, hey, man, you should do men's physique. And then I remember he's like, we're talking about guest pose. I'm like, you should wear board shorts for the men. And he literally said, he's like, I don't want people to feel disrespected, so I wouldn't do it. That's what he said initially.
Right.
But I think he had a speech right after or before. But I don't think that made its waves around like the internet. But his speech, he said, like, you know, he's happy that there's a category for everybody. So he wasn't making fun of them at all. It was just he's making fun of himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, but of course, you know, some people just get offended for no reason and throw fits. So what could you do?
It's all blown over now, but you know, it was during a slow time of the season too. So it gained some traction. It went viral.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, man. That is all I got for you. I'm excited to see you doing the Vancouver because I think you're going to look a lot fuller. You're going to have more roundness to you because you're not going to try to suck down to a specific weight last time that your body didn't want to get to. I mean, so you were. I don't know if the weight's going to be different. The weight doesn't even matter, but you're just going to have a different look. And, if you don't win, I assume you'll shut it down for the year and then just come back next spring.
Yeah. But I heard Dexter's doing Tampa. I just watched the video online. I heard Dexter's doing Tampa.
Has Dexter said that himself?
I can't remember. I think he said it months ago. But like, I mean, even if I don't do the Olympia, if he's doing Tampa, I want to do Tampa. I want to see him on stage. So
selfishly, we'll be covering Tampa. So selfishly, I want to see him do Tampa too.
Yeah.
Just I'm scratching my head like
he doesn't have to.
No,
I think he just wants. I think he just wants to do it just to get another pro win under his belt.
Well, you know what it is? I found someone explained to me. He said he's got the all-time. I said he's already got the all-time record. No one's going to break that in our lifetime. They said, but he's got 29 wins. He wants 30.
Oh,
okay,
gotcha.
A nice even number. And who the hell is going to beat him in Tampa?
How old was he when he first started? When he first won his pro show?
Let's see. He was born in 1969, like myself. So let's do the math. Yeah. He turned pro in '98. So he was 28, going on 29 when he won the North American.
Yeah.
And so he did his first pro show was the '99 Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
He was still 28 at that time.
Okay.
So that's 28. A lot of years. 28 to he's 49 now. He'll be 50 in November, I think. That's a long career, man. You got to.
Well, I'm 24.
So you weren't even born. Yeah, you weren't even born when this
Yeah,
guy. No way, yeah, you were. What year were you born?
1995.
Okay, so you were 3 years
Yeah,
old when you turned pro,
yeah.
and
But
he's
I'm coming for that record, man. I'm coming for 30 wins.
well. I said it won't happen in my lifetime. I guess it depends on how long I live. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, if you're 24 and you're still competing when you're Dexter's age, geez, that's like 2040 something. Wow, you'll have flying
I
cars,
know.
and it's going to be 150 degrees everywhere in the world, and the
It's gonna be
oceans are warm.
exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. But that's also exciting because I can't even imagine pro bodybuilding 20 years from now. But you could very
Hmm.
well, you play your cards right.
Yeah,
There still is a sport of pro bodybuilding in 20 years, we assume. Yeah,
yeah.
you might still be, you might be like a Dexter. You might be some guy with all these titles and all the young
Hmm.
kids are looking up to as like the OG.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
That'd be cool.
Because I remember when Dexter was just starting out, like
Yeah.
but he was good from the beginning. He wasn't like
Yeah, he was. He was,
he
man. He's
was
timeless.
he was
That
top.
boy doesn't
I
age.
believe he was top five in Arnold the first year, and that was his pro debut. He didn't pick an
Oh,
easy
wow.
show. That was his first show.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
All right, the pressure's on.
and that was 1999. It was I think like Nasser won or maybe Flex Wheeler won that year.
Yeah,
Those were some sick lineups back in the late 90s.
man.
As you
That was a beautiful era.
It was, yeah. Yeah. At least you have the pictures and the videos to look back
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But you know what? It's a new era too, and who's to say? I don't want to be. I don't like to be that grouchy old guy that says everything was way better back then. These
Yeah,
guys, these
yeah.
guys suck now. It's not true. Every era has its great champions. Every
Oh,
era is great in its own way. If not, the sport would have died. And
yeah, no,
it's still going
100%.
strong.
Yeah, and it's like bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, geez, we have so many damn divisions. Oh my God. But, and we got wellness coming up next year.
Oh, that'll be exciting. The
I'd
bikini
like to
with
go to shows
muscle.
and just watch it. As long as I don't have to sit there and work, I'd just like to check out and ogle the wellness, but I'll
Yeah.
probably have to work. All right, so Quint Beastwood on Instagram, Quinton Eriya. He is competing again in Vancouver, everybody. We're very excited to see him on stage again. And congratulations, top 5 in your first pro show. 24 years old. That's an accomplishment, guy. You're on the rise, as Giles and AJ like to say. You are on the rise, and it'll be interesting to watch as you move up the ranks in the next couple of years.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that,
Wish you
Ron.
the very best of luck, as always. You got all the tools physically. It seems like you got your head on straight, and you're doing everything the right way, and you're one of those guys I think is going to go very, very far.
I really appreciate that coming from you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been around forever.
I'm going to do everything I can to get there, man.
Cool. Well, yeah, congratulations again. And everybody, again, check him out. And thanks for watching. This has been the Ronline Report with Canada's Quinton Eriya. Thanks for watching.